video. Okay, again, welcome to Big Data Analytics. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Kongkan. I am working with Dr. Pujai for many years. And actually, I am data scientist. And the tool I usually use is Python. Sometimes it can be R and Mathematica. But most of the time, I use Python for data analytics. In this class, you will learn how to do data visualization. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about data analytics process. It was from my experience. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go to this slide. Not now. Let me ask you, if you want to do data analytics project, what would you start? You can tell me anything. It's okay. What would you do if you want to start doing? Oh, looking to the example of data set, right? Okay, I think that is a good idea. And what else? Do you have any idea for that? Anything actually. Buy some ice cream. It's okay. You can say anything. Anyway, do you have any? Pardon? Oh, okay. Yes, it's up to the algorithm, right? That we want to use. Okay. I think it's also another way to start the 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 project. For me, I will start with the problem formulation. You can start with anything you want. It's okay. Oh, you don't hear me? Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now? Not clear. Hello. Oh, I see. I didn't turn it on. Anyway, okay. Sorry for that. And also, thank you. For me, I will start with problem formulation. It's like when you're working in some organization, the business unit will come to you and they may have some problem. They will ask you to help them to do something. For example, when I'm working in banking industry, uh, maybe the credit card unit uh, came to us and asked they want to improve the the process. When customer came to the bank and want to have a new credit card, we have to check for their credit before approve that customer will have that credit card or not. It may take some time if we use human label to see the document, but the rule is actually similar. So business unit will come to us. We have to define their need because most of the time they might not know exactly what they want. We have to define what they need. Sometimes they might come with a question like, how can we improve our mobile app? How can we migrate from the brand user to the mobile app? How can we do that? But if you are data analytics, we may have no idea how to do that. We want something that's more clear, like, oh, they want us to make some kind of predictive model in mobile app so that a blind user might think, oh, this application is quite easy to use, it's quite smart. We want something like that, right? But if we start the question like how can we do this thing, it might be quite broad. But anyway, we have to define the business what they want and what is the scope of the project because sometimes they might want something that's quite large, but what we can deliver first is and help them maybe not that large. For example, maybe they want a platform that can help them to identify which image is cat or a dog. But we are not specialized on create like a website or something like that. So we have to make a scope clear. And then after we know what they want, we will looking for the data. The data can be internal data set, data source, or it can be external. If it's internal, I think it's quite easy because you can ask the business in the data owner for the data set, and you can start exploring. But some question that you might have to ask is this data is available for you to making a model? Because some of them may exist, but you cannot use it. Do you know about something about PDPA? Do you know about that? It's a law that we cannot use private data to predict something without consent from customer. If you want to make some product make something like the model that can tell which product that we should suggest to our customer, we must have a consent from that customer first. That one is just an example. And if we don't have data set, if we don't have internal data, we may have to find it somewhere else. For example, in internet, which I will show you the where can we get data later. And we can start exploring data. Anything, you can clean the data because data, some of them may not clean. You will know later what is the definition of not clean mean. And then you can do data visualization and descriptive analytics. And after that is modeling, and then communicate the result to stakeholder, to the one you ask you to make to make something for them. Anyway, anything that not look like this, I think it's okay. You can start. Let move the maybe we can get data first and explore it, and then do the problem formulation. Is that okay? I think it's okay. Sometimes you don't have problem at all. Like what he said, maybe we may have data already, and we just start exploring to understand what it is, and then you might get some idea and tell someone that might interest in it. Or maybe we can start with problem formulation and do modeling first. For example, I might interested in graph or geometric neural network. It's some kind of technique that use neural network to learn graph data set, like social network, something like that. I might interested in that and start literature survey on that. What is the benefit? What is the downfall of using that technique? And then find the data that we can solve it. Anything you can start any way you want. And for the data source, this is the list of data source that I recommend you to take some time to explore them. You may get one that you might interest in, and you might use it for your term project. For the first one is Kaggle. Let me show you. Kaggle is a platform that maybe some company might have a problem, and they want someone to solve it, maybe with data analytics, with machine learning or anything. So they will provide the data set here, and you can see. Let me zoom a little bit. You can see this one is a Titanic data set. Well, most of the data scientists try to beat each other on this data set. It's like a competition. And this is, I think this one is a standard data set, how price. If you searching for machine learning tutorial, you might find that one once. And also some of them, if you win, if you can beat the data set, if your model can predict well in that data set, you might get some money like this one. Then maybe you can form your team and try to tackle with this problem. I think it would be nice. And you also might have more experience on that thing. Anyway, we're talking about data set. You can go to this tab and you might find something that you might interesting. Another one is our role in data. I think this is quite interesting. In this website, they will put variety of data. For example, environmental impact of food. It also provide you some data visualization, and you can also download it from this website. And click download, and yes, food data CSV here. Yes, you can export anything you want. And well or matter. This one is also similar to the data explorer. And I'm quite not sure why my advertising is about women clothes like this one. I don't buy women clothes. Anyway, just this is example of making a bad prediction. But anyway, You can click from it. And you might get the data from here. This one, view the full tabulated data. Yes, you can copy this one and use for your project. And UCI is a repository that keep a standard dataset, such as Y, HTC, and something else, anything. But I think this dataset is quite small. They design this dataset for when you want to do research on machine learning. You can use this dataset to test whether your algorithm is good or not. But for the real data analytics, maybe you might have to find it from somewhere else. Well, maybe you can use it in this class. It's okay. Don't worry. And the paper with code, actually, this is my favorite one. Paper with code is actually a website that contains, they collect the research paper, the one that provide source code. You can find some technique that you think is quite interesting. For example, this one, I don't know what it is, molecular docking. And you can read the research paper from this one, what they did here. Anyway, but for the code, you can check from here. It will redirect you to the source code repository. Yes, you can download from it and use it. Anyway, we talk about dataset, so there is a tab here. You click it, and there is a lot of dataset. I think it's a standard dataset. For example, C410, MNIST. When you read the research paper, might you might see this name sometimes. Some of them are standard dataset. Anyway, and the last one is GitHub. I think you know the GitHub, right? GitHub is a code repository, but sometimes you can find the dataset in this website. Anyway, but I don't suggest you to find it in this one. You may not find. I don't know. Maybe you can try. But most of the time, let's say I want to search something in Google, like if I want to do the maybe dog recognition, I may search for the like a dog facial dataset. Yes, you just add the dataset in your keyword and enter, and bam, you got one. Maybe you can try with something quite weird. I don't know, maybe helicopter dataset. Maybe I don't know. Can you see this one also redirect to yes GitHub. As I say, you can find the dataset from GitHub sometimes, but you may have to search it on the Google first. Anyway, this is the data source, and when you want to start doing the data analytics, I suggest you to do on these two platforms. It can be that there is so many platforms to do data analytics with Python, but I will suggest you two of these things. First one is Anaconda. Anaconda is a platform. You have to download it first and install into your computer. It will provide the standard library and Python and the notebook, which is some kind of editor that you can write Python code to and do your project. I also install one on my laptop. And when you want to use it, you may have to search for Jupyter Notebook like this one. But for me, Jupyter Notebook will open on the default path. So I don't want it. It will be located on, I don't know, somewhere else. I want it to be, let's say, on a specific folder in my laptop. So normally I use Anaconda prompt like this one. And let me change the size of the font like this one. Okay. I have to change the bit part first. V2 bar size and then run the Jupyter Notebook. So you may have to get used to use the command line first to be able to use Anaconda. And this is how it looks like when you run Jupyter Notebook. You may click the path that you want to create your first notebook. You will know that later what it is. And for example, I want to create on this path. So I can create one and write Python code. Well, this is just for example, anything that you run, it will run on your local machine. And another platform is Colab, which we are going to use today. Colab is similar to the one that I showed you, but it will be run on cloud. When you click the link, it will redirect you to this website. You can just create new one. But for me, I will go to my Google Drive and just create Colab here. It's okay. You can do anything you feel you think it's easy for you. And also, this is the list that I will suggest you to for do data manipulation. The first one is Panda. Panda is library that when you want to read the data set in CSV, it will read in the form of data frame, and you can do anything. It's quite useful. Another one is NumPy. Panda is like and it's not extension of the NumPy, but it's like for NumPy, the data set usually be in form of matrix vector. You want to do something with the numerical data, you can do it in NumPy. But if you have something else like string, I think Pandas would be better for that one. But normally I will use this to library. And it can be anything else like PySpark. Sometimes when you're working with quite gigantic data set, you may have to use another technology called Spark. But that will be in different language, not in Python. But if you want to use it with the one that implement in Python, you can use PySpark. And data table is another thing, modeling. I never used it too before, but you can try with that. And for the last one, data visualization, you can use Matplotlib, which is the one we are going to use in this class. Matplotlib is a basic library to do data visualization. You can adjust anything. The size of the font, you can certainly you want to put like a text in the graph, you can do that one. But it might require you so many steps to do that. The one that more the one that easier is Seaborn and both. And even Hollow View, there is some interactive in if you want to use Hollow View. You can try that. You can Google and search in their website. And the last thing is D3.js. As you can see, the extension is .js. It's in JavaScript, not in Python. But I think it's quite cool if you go into the website. Most of them are interactive, but you have to implement in the low level of it. Okay, this one is not interactive. You can play with it later. And as I know, there is also an Python implementation version of this one, but not complete yet. Okay, you can try with that later. So, do you have any question? You can feel free to ask. I will. Now we are going to write some code in Python. Okay, if you have no question, then please open the link that your TA gives it to you, which is the data visualization, this one. We are going to compare it with Mathematica. Đúng tình luôn mà Úc ngữ. Okay, now please run this one. Do you have the Mathematica this file? You have it? Okay. And this one we will compare. Okay, well, are you ready for that? Okay. I think some of you may feel so sleepy. Okay. Now, In the left side, it is a code in Mathematica. In this one, thanks to Dr. Pujai, he provided for me. In this one, they want to plot the line, the graph of sine wave here. If you want to do it in Python, first you have to import the matplotlib. To import matplotlib, you can write Python, right? Okay, you know Python. You just import matplotlib here at PLT. I don't know why, but this is like a standard way to import things in Python. To do data visualization, you have to import matplotlib.pyplot. And then you may have to generate the x and y of this one. I think this one is y. This one is x. You have to generate a list of x first. The list of x is a value of 0 to the 2 pi. If you want to do that, it's simple. I think I will use numpy for that. You just import the numpy. And then you can use the one called linspace. It will generate a list of numbers for you. For example, this one I want to generate the list of 0 to 2 pi. I will put 0 to 2 pi like this. And how many of them you want it to be generated? In this case, maybe let's 8. Let's generate 8 of them. And then run. To run it, you can use Shift Enter. It will run the code. But you have to make sure that this cell is active. After that, it will generate a list of X for you. For example, this one, it will start at the 0, and then this number, and end at, I think it's the 2 pi. Yes, 2 pi. It will generate 8 number and put it in equal length. So we have a list of X, and then we are going to generate a list of Y. In this case, it's simple. You can use Y equal to sine and put X in that function. Let me show you the full page of this one. Again, it will generate 8 of them. As you can see, this one is the value when you put X in the sine function. It will transform to another one. And you can plot it. It's just that simple. To plot it, you can type plt.plot with the first parameter is X, and then it's Y. See? It's simple, but the curve is not that smooth. Maybe you have to put more numbers here. Like maybe we can try with 16 or maybe 32, like this one. It is easy, right? However, if you want to do something similar to this one, you want to make an horizontal axis to be at the center. In Matplotlib, you see, we have no axis here, but we want to move it to here. We have to make some effort. So in this case, I may change style of writing this one because this one Matplotlib this one is MATLAB style. Matplotlib will copy the style from MATLAB. If you have ever used MATLAB, it will be quite similar to you. But I will use different style in object oriented style. So in that case, I will have to create figure object first. Can you follow me to this point? Okay. Okay, I will change the style now. In that style, you have to create the figure and x using this function. And then instead of plot it with PLT, you have to change it to AX and run it. It's just another style. But now I will have to select the spy. They call this one spy. I will select the bottom one and put it at the center. In that case, I will have to do something like this one. Oh, subplot. Okay, have no attribute. Let me change a little bit. Oh, okay. Spelling. You see? Now it is changed to be here at the center. And if you want to remove the above one and the right one, if you want to remove it, you may have to do something similarly. Let me show you. Okay, I will remove the right spine. Then it's gone, as well as the top one. So now, if you want to do something, if you want to adjust your graph, you may have to put more command. but it's quite, it is adaptive. You can do anything you want. And then, anyway, you can just ax dot plot. It's fine. It's okay. Okay. Anyway, the way to generate the x, we don't have to do this way. We can do another way. We can use a if you know the Python function, you can use anything. For example, I can use the alien. We start with 0 and end at the 2 pi, and the step will be 0.1. This one is also can be done. It will generate the list from 0 and add 0.1 and again until it reach this point, then end. You can use any. It's up to you. Okay. Do you get it? If you cannot, don't worry to write everything. I will give it to you after the class or the code. Yeah. But you please make sure that you can plot using this one. It's just this simple. Okay. Let's continue to the other. This is 3D plot. Well, in Python, it's quite hard to do this one, but still you can do it. In this case, I suggest you to search in the Google 3D plot. Maybe Python 3D plot, maybe something like this, and you may find it. An example, you can copy it and adjust it to what you want to do. But in this case, I am also prepared for you. Let me show you what it is. First, in this plot, is is it shows the length of x and y from 0 to 2 pi, and at the z axis is it the value of sine and cos, like this one. In your case, you have to generate the matrix of x and y and also z. In x, you can use the same function I told you before, this one, linspace, and y. It is 1D data, right? Oh, this one is 1D data. It is a list of 32 numbers, yeah. But what you have to do, if you have to make a mesh grid of x and y, what it is, let me show you what it is. Let me show you this one. Okay, now x will be 2D data. The first one will be data of 0 to 2 pi, and again it will duplicate this value to another row and another row and another. But for y-axis, it is something similar, but the zero will be here at the first row, or the first row will be zero, and the second row will be like a first column of of the x of the x, and then 2 pi is will be in the last row here, and then after that you will have to create the z value. To create z value here, it's just simple. You can put the x here and y here in the sine and cos function. You will get z. Like this one. It's simple, right? If you write the PL Python code, it will you will have to make a group of x and y. It will be quite hard for you. But if you use the something called numpy like this one, it will be easier, and it's also faster than Python code. In this style, it's called vectorized. Because the numpy, the back end of the numpy is implemented with the faster language than Python. It implement in C language. If you want to know that, but you don't have to worry about that. Just remember that if we can use the numpy function, it will be fast. Anyway, you don't have to type. You don't have to type it. It's in here. I think you all have it, right? Yes. Um, and after that, you will use the function called plot surface. You put x, y, and z here, and you can follow this one. You will get the beautiful surface here with the color gradient like this one. You don't have to put this function. This is when you want to limit the plot, you can put it. But if you don't write it line, it will automatically find the minimum length for you. In this case, it will start from, I don't know, but the number you can see is the negative 0.75 to the 0.75 here. But if you want it to be better, if you want the length to be -1 to 1, you have to put this one. As you can see, there is some space here. So I just want to the number here to be shown like this one. And this one is a color bar. You may omit it. If I comment this code, it will not show the color bar. That means if you want to show color bar, you can put this command here. You just put the surface from this one here. Another. Well, compared to the Mathematica, this one is quite hard, right? Do you think so? Anyway, if you are good at Python, you can use Python. Don't worry about the detail of this one. You can go Google it. You will get the example. But it will be simpler if you use Mathematica. Just one line of code. Okay, and for this one, well, in Python you can also do that, but it's quite hard. This one is interactive demo. You can adjust the number of K here, and this parameter will be put in this the length, the end of length, and you plot the 3D plot and also make it interactive using manipulate. In Python, you can also do that, but I will not show you because it will be a lot, many line of code. But if you want to know about it, you can go to this link. In Python, especially in only in the IDE that call notebook, something look like this one, like Colab, Jupyter Notebook. There is a widget that you can play with it. For example, this one is a tutorial for that one to make your notebook interactive. I will maybe okay. I will run some of it for you. Well, it might spend some time to initialize the notebook. And then you will have the slide bar here. And if you want to plot and make it interactive, you may have to put some function that different from this one. It will be, I think it will be here. If you want to use it, maybe you can ask me later. But I think it will spend so much time to write it in Python. So let's skip it. And next, to import two-dimensional data here in Python, we will use pandas. You first have to import the panda. I put the alias name here. And for Colab, this is the, if you use the Anaconda, you don't have to put it to line. You can just read it from your local directory. But if you use Colab, you may have to mount the Google Drive first so that this code can search and read your file from your Google Drive. And then you can read it. For example, I have this one, the file in my Google Drive here in this directory. It's called Old Faithful. So I have to mount it first. I have to mount it first and then read the file. When you run it, it will ask you if you want to connect to it in Thai. But anyway, if in English, you will know what it is. It will ask you to for the permission. You can just click it. Don't worry. And then the path. In my case, I put the data inside of my drive, Parsai, big data, and the year. In the code, you have to start from drive, my drive, and your path. You can change it according to your data structure, and then run it. And then you get data in this variable. You can show it using this function. But actually, if it is in the last slide, you can omit it like this. See? Oh, yes. See? This one is your data set. Okay. Any question to this point? Okay. I think maybe we should take a break for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Let's go back to this room at 20. 12. Okay.